everyone doing today? Today, I want to go over some options that we can use and or implement that might help our students, all right? And what I mean by that is I want to show you some options for lunges that we can use with students which might help our students actually get stronger, learn the basics of movement, but then also give them some variation, some progression and regression type activities using a lunge to help them either adapt as needed, because let's be honest, not everyone is ready for certain things. But I want to give you the option of how to do lunges because not everyone is necessarily ready for squats, physically capable of doing barbell squats, because believe it or not, bodyweight squats and barbell squats are actually sort of different in the demands of each, okay? Because of the center of gravity and the weight of your body as you go down, and I'll demonstrate that in a second. So, what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna show you some variations of lunges because lunges are a great alternative to doing squats. Now, squats are an amazing exercise. They're actually one of my favorites of all time. However, that doesn't mean they're end-all be-all. You can get equal benefit, equal improvement, equal body control, possibly even more balance improvement and stability improvement, possibly more coordination improvement by doing lunges instead of squats. All right, so let's get going. All right, so here's what I'm doing. All right, so I'm right here. All right, so what do I mean by squats being different for barbell and body weight? So when we go down in a squat, our hips tend to drop back a little bit, our knees tend to move a little bit forward, our chest moves a little bit forward to offset our hips to maintain our center of gravity. All right? Now, more weight being here, we tend to need to put our hands out in order to do a good squat without kind of doing this movement. If you'll notice, students love to do this because as this goes back, something needs to offset that body weight, right? Because this going back needs to offset to maintain center of gravity. If you use your hands to go out, you can maintain better position. When we have a barbell on our back, it's easier because now the weight stays better centered. So as we go, we don't need to put our hands out to offset that distribution of our body weight, all right? But when we're doing lunges, we have a more natural ability to control that center of gravity through our step. Now, quick side note, if you're in this position and you do not take a step, it's a split squat. The actual stepping is what creates the exercise known as lunges. All right, so if you step, this would be a side lunge. If you step forward, forward lunge or front lunge, and if you step back, a backward and or reverse lunge. For today's purpose, I'm doing reverse lunges. Why reverse lunges? I have found through trial and error, myself and with my kids, that this is an easier movement to control with the descent than this. Because as they come forward, they tend to do this, and they don't feel as comfortable keeping control of the body as they go forward, so they get that small movement. This is basically what you get a lot of times. Okay? Going reverse makes it a little bit easier to get your depth, we've found, not through scientifically peer-reviewed research, through anecdotal evidence, where this becomes a little bit easier to get our depth, meaning better strength training. All right, so how can we progress, regress? All right, some kids have balance issues, so you give them something to hold on to, whether it's standing in front of the squat rack, whether it's a stick to help with their balance, or what works best and is most readily available is a wall. You could actually put a chair right here, but if you have a wall or the basketball stands that are put up, you can put your hand however you want. I tend to go low, and I actually kind of like doing a backhand. If you see my hand up against the wall like that, you're not trying to grab the wall, you're just giving yourself something to kind of lean into as necessary. So I do right here, I go low. People want to start high, but then as you go here, see how I get this right here? I go low, and my hand can actually trail with me. Okay, that's why I don't like doing this, because it's kind of hard to travel. Okay, so if you do this, see how my hand goes down? It's very easy to get that travel. Now, if you don't have a helper for your balance, you can shorten your stride, which does give you the ability to make it easier on your balance. Okay? So, smaller stride, I can still get my depth. Longer stride, see how my body weight has to shift? Well, that shifting is what makes it the balance challenge. So you can variabilize the length of the stride depending on your student's ability. So if you need better balance or your balance is lacking, you can actually do a minimal stride and still get very good depth. And then as you get better and better, you can go farther and farther. Then a progression after that, which we love and we implement often, is what we call a lunge challenge, which is actually purposely trying to keep the foot in the air, going as far back as possible, while going as low as possible before our foot touches and we do our lunge. So, foot goes back, we go low, and then we put a foot down, making that a challenge exercise for both our strength, our balance, and our joint stability for the plantlet. Great exercise that you can implement as needed or as desired or as capable depending on the level of your students. Remember, anything with balance or movement, if you close one eye or both eyes, naturally becomes a little bit more of a balanced challenge automatically, because remember, our visual is our number one way of gathering information or learning of the environment around us. So when we close our eyes, whether it be one or both, we naturally have to make our senses, our other senses, more heightened, making it more of a challenge. Now, lastly today, fixing what goes wrong with reverse lunges. Kids love to, when they go backwards, they want to plant their foot like this, so it's straight ahead. So what they do is they plant. You can't do a lunge like that, so then as they're moving, they'll then pivot. Changes the exercise, makes it actually more difficult because you're trying to combine two separate things of lunge, pivot, balance, while your hips are moving to adjust and allow for that pivot. That becomes a problem. So the biggest key on helping implement that properly is just have them keep that toe pointed towards the ground, and then they just go straight down from there. They love to do this and then try to pivot, which gives you a little rotation into it, and then they tend to fall into the rotation, and that becomes a problem as well. So, recap. First and foremost, make sure that they're getting a straight drop back with the foot. They can even drag it on the ground, which does help with their balance, and then down. They can shorten the stride to help improve their natural balance. They can use a wall or a balance helper, like a stick or a partner, or the squat rack or a chair. We use the wall a lot because, let's be honest, in gymnasiums we have plenty of wall space usually. And I can do this, remember, keeping your hand low or low-ish. Don't go high with it, don't go chest high. want to be low because you're getting low. And those help with improving your overall lower body strength, give you all the benefits that a squat could. You can do them in more places. You don't have to worry about learning two techniques because bodyweight lunges and dumbbell and or kettlebell and or barbell lunges are essentially the same versus bodyweight squats and barbell back squats, as the full name implies, are essentially different techniques because of the balance challenge. So that is a difference between learning squats versus learning lunges, and a reason why your students may do better learning lunges versus learning squats. Remember, you have to find options, and you have to find, through a lot of trial and error, what is the best for the class that you have, the students you have, the abilities that your students have, and help them maximize those abilities. All right? So that is our lesson for today. Options on implementing and using lunges without any equipment. I did mention you can do kettlebells where you hold the kettlebells out here. You could hold it like a goblet style. You can do dumbbells here. You can do dumbbells by your side. You can do barbell in back. You can do barbell in front. Okay? Those are all options for using weight. You can hold a medicine ball like a hug lunge. Those are all great options. Those are further down the road once you get the mechanics and the movements and the technique of your squats or of your lunges, and your legs really start to feel the burn after 10 or so reps. All right? That's all we got for today. You guys go out, be awesome, be amazing. If you think this helps your students and or your fellow colleagues, let them know about our page. Post this everywhere. And if you're interested in helping us come to one of your professional development days, we are available for school districts and or schools to do professional development specifically for your teachers to help them really improve a fitness-based PE model curriculum. All right? Thank you very much.